new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant. It's now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Thursday's edition of Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, we were joined by women's basketball forward Aaliyah Nye.
It's been really fun. I enjoy this team that we have. I enjoy the coaches that we have this season. And I think it's just been a fun season. Obviously, I want to expand my game more just in case people take away my three-point shot. So I worked on a lot of dribbling, pull-ups, and just my mentality, just staying focused and just getting in the gym as much as I can and working with my teammates. We had a lot of new faces, so just trying to get them acclimated to playing Alabama basketball.
How much pride do you take in your defense?
I actually love defense. I feel like people don't really know that. I like to play defense. I like to get stops, and that's something that I take pride in. I don't want anyone to score on me. So I really enjoy defense, and I don't know if a lot of people know that, but I do like to play defense for sure.
I'll have more in a moment.
Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers, an Alabama tailgate tradition. Founded in Haleyville, Alabama in 1965, Guthrie's has been a Bama fan favorite for years. From your hometown to college towns all around, Guthrie's is still serving the family's original Southern fried chicken recipe just like always, fresh, hot, and fast. Make Guthrie's Golden Fried Chicken Fingers the MVP of your next tailgate. Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant and now an official partner of the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com.
We've got you covered for Alabama basketball against Auburn in a 1-versus-2 matchup on Saturday. Tip-off is set for 3 p.m. from Coleman Coliseum, with our coverage on the network beginning at 2 p.m. Central. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And a happy Friday morning, everyone. Welcome in. We are back. We are live. We are brand new. It is Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, welcome in on a Friday morning. A chilly start to your Friday, but guess what? It's not raining. So we'll take it. A little chilly. 28 degrees to start the day, but we should end up near 53 degrees today, and what should be another fantastic day here in the Tennessee Valley. And it's also a fantastic day to watch college baseball. If you are a college baseball fan, you might be a little chilly at Toyota Field, but we'll explain how you can watch college baseball a little bit later this afternoon, or I should say mid-afternoon, early evening. You can watch some college baseball, but basketball taking center stage. A lot of high school basketball, a lot of college basketball going on last night. And we're going to dip into all of that. The North Alabama Lions, or the UNA Lions, they were on the road last night. I should say they were at home last night taking on North Florida. They've already got a win on the road against North Florida. Now they back it up with a home win last night, 83-70. All 5 starters for UNA score in double figures. And the good news for UNA, they sit atop the ASUN Conference. They are 18-8 overall, 10-3 in conference play. The 18 wins and 10 conference wins match the most wins in 7 years at the Division I level, with 5 regular season games remaining. So head coach Tony Pujol and company in Florence have it going on. And oh, by the way, former Lehigh General Jakari Lane, all he did was have a team high, game high, 21 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds, and a block. Marked the 8th time this season that Lane has scored 20 or more. So Jakari Lane on fire for the Lions. Now UNA back in action on Saturday, 1 o'clock. They're going to take on Jacksonville inside CBNS Bank Arena there on the campus of UNA, or for those traditionalists, Flowers Hall. Both teams are 10-3. This is a monster game for UNA on Saturday. Both Jacksonville and UNA are 10-3 in the season atop the ASUN. And by the way, I believe Lipscomb got a win. Our good friend, head coach Lenny Acuff, got a win as well. So they should have stayed atop the ASUN standing. So it is coming down to the wire there. Maybe just double check that as we go along. And yes, indeed, Lipscomb, North Alabama, and Jacksonville are all 10-3 in conference play. So congratulations to Tony Poole and company for getting it done last night. Also inside Spraggins Hall last night, UAH continuing to do what UAH is continuing to do all year. And that is, they've won their 23rd straight win with a 72-55 win over Christian Brothers. And Christian Brothers, when we took on Christian Brothers in Memphis earlier this year, the one thing you know about them is they are long, they are athletic, and they can just kind of muck up things a little bit. And they did again last night for UNA, a little slow going. But Tommy Murr, 27 points, 9 of 17 from the floor. Luke Burnett, 9 points. Daniel Saylor, 8. Blake Campbell, 8. Austin Leslie, 6. And Matt Thurman off the bench had 14 for the Chargers. They get it done, 72-55. Now, the win for UAH puts them at 18 conference wins, and that is kind of significant because this is the 4th year that the conference expanded to play everybody twice. Now, before last year, or I should say last year was the last season of them playing 24 conference games because remember, both Shorter and West Georgia left the league last year. We replaced, let's just say, West Georgia with Trevecca because replacing Shorter is like, we could have got a high school team sometimes to replace Shorter. But West Georgia leaves, Shorter leaves. We replaced West Georgia with Trevecca, so we played 22 conference games this season, not 24. The most wins in the Gulf South Conference since they expanded to 24 conference games was 19. West Alabama and UAH did that. They actually tied for the conference championship, but UAH got it on the tiebreaker. So they were the conference champions, the number 1 seed. West Georgia got 19 wins last season, 17. So it went 17, 2 teams with 19 and 19. Those have been the results. UAH has 18 conference wins. So they could eclipse the record for conference wins with the expansion schedule still, despite losing 2 conference games this year. Because if they win Saturday, it would be win 19. That would tie the most wins in conference play ever by anybody. And then a win of either against Auburn, Montgomery, and West Alabama would give them 20 or 21. And that would be the most. So there you go.
Yeah, Mick Edgepeth, Coach of the Year. It's already over.
And then the women, they get it done. Alan Sharp and company, they get it done as well. They cruise.
When's the last time that happened, by the way? One university got both Coaches of the Year, because that's really what should happen.
I don't know that one.
Because UAH's ladies.
Yes, Alan Sharp should get Coach of the Year.
They're going to get a home game.
They are.
For the first time ever.
Yep.
So
they've been in the conference tournament one time.
Yeah.
And you got to go back to the 2020-2021 season when they were still playing divisions in the Gulf South Conference. But that year, UAH, I believe
I thought your guy Ray Hines won the tournament one year though.
Well, they did, but
they didn't host.
Right, they've
And
not hosted.
They may not. That may not have been were they doing the host thing?
I don't think they were doing the host thing because this will be the first time ever that
was over 10 years ago.
Right,
that's
for UAH to host both on Super Tuesday.
Right.
And so that is a huge accomplishment. That 2020-2021 season was the last time that UAH women made the NCAA tournament.
Correct.
But they didn't get to play the game.
Oh, because of Dr. Dumbass, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. He should go to prison, by the way.
Anyway, that's how we get you going on the conference level. But we were talking before was the fact that UNA and Jakari Lane gets it done again. Jakari Lane is just having a fantastic season, a phenomenal season. North Alabama atop the ASUN standings with Lipscomb and Jacksonville. They meet Jacksonville and UNA meet on Saturday for first place. I mean,
and UNA beat Lipscomb, so
yeah,
they own the tiebreaker there. And Jakari, I said this the other day, man. I mean, making a strong case to be, not just first team all conference, but potentially player of the year in the ASUN.
All right, so that's your college level basketball games going on, at least locally. There was we can talk national college games here in a minute, but high school also taking center stage. Regional basketball going on over at the Northeast Regional at Jacksonville State. Now, they had a short schedule yesterday because Jack State was on the hardwood last night, so they had a short schedule. They had the 4A girls and the 4A boys play yesterday. It was Plainview over Cherokee County, 47-36 in girls play. And then the other girls semifinal in 4A was Madison Academy and Alexandria. Madison Academy, a 65-40 winner over Alexandria. And then Plainview on the 4A boys side, 64-56 winners over Alexandria. So they are through, and it will be an all North Alabama or an all local final for us here in 4A boys as Madison Academy tops Hoax Bluff 36-33 in a hard-fought defensive battle. So it's going to be Plainview and Madison Academy in the 4A boys regional final from Jack State, and then it'll be Plainview and Madison Academy in the 4A girls as well for the right to go to the BJCC. Yeah,
no doubt. And I was over at Wallace State, Hansville for a good part of yesterday, and there was good news for our community in Madison County, but there's also some tough news. The last game of the day was one of the best high school basketball games I've seen all year. A missed opportunity for Jeremy Crutcher and Hazel Green. Boy, they played their guts out.
Yeah.
They lost in double overtime, 59-55, led by 8 at the end of the third quarter against a very talented Clay Chalkville team that's been number 1 at one point in 6A, number 9 right now. But Nathan Butterfield played the best game of his career. Senior big man, we talked about him yesterday. Dad played at Mizzou, and he went 11 of 12 from the floor and really had probably the best game of his career. Had 23 points. Legend Martin scored 12, most of them in the fourth quarter. 14 for Khalil Green, who fouled out in the second overtime. Had an outstanding game, but a tough loss. One that I know it'll haunt Hazel Green for a while, but they had a great year. Won the 6A Area 16 championship and really acquitted themselves well. And then tough for our guy Pete Miller. It was a close game throughout, but in the fourth quarter, Pinson Valley pulled away, won that game 43-31. So it'll be an all Birmingham 6A boys final with Clay Chalkville and Pinson Valley playing each other. But tough for North. But our guy Tim Miller rolling 70-31 over Gardendale. It will be an all North Alabama final as they will face Hartselle, who dispatched Coleman easily. So 56-25, I believe. But so it's going to be an interesting, couple of days. And
5A.
Yep.
In 5A play, boys yesterday, Brewer gets a win over Arab 62-44.
Big win for them. Yeah, absolutely.
And Gunnersville over East Limestone 70-56. So Brewer and Gunnersville will meet Monday at 2:15.
Correct.
for the right to go to Birmingham.
And that was a huge fourth quarter because that was a back and forth game with East Limestone and Guntersville.
Yeah.
Guntersville, huge fourth quarter to pull away and win that 70-56 with Brett Self and those guys.
And then on the girls' side, Hartzell over Coleman and Hazel Green, you mentioned, over Gardendale.
Yep.
There you go. And then I believe in the 5A side, it was Arab over West Point, 51-50. Scottsboro over Priceville, 63-31. So Arab and Scottsboro will play each other Monday at 4 p.m. And so there you go. And then today in 7A play, you've got Hillcrest Tuscaloosa versus Florence, Bob Jones versus Thompson. That'll be at noon and 9 a.m. So the Bob Jones-Thompson game is at 9 a.m. The Hillcrest Florence game will be at noon. Their championship for 7A on the Northwest Regional is Tuesday at 9 a.m. And then your 7A boys, well, we don't have anybody over there in the Northwest. Well, we got Florence and James Clemens.
Yeah, Florence and James Clemens. Yep.
My bad. Hillcrest and James Clemens will play at 10:30 today. And Florence and Tuscaloosa County will play at 1:30. So that is how the matchups will be today from the Northwest Regional.
Yeah, and planning on going back up there, making the drive to see some of that 7A action. But, yeah, no question. We look, it was some outstanding basketball and last night, and should be more good basketball today. And looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing a lot of our North Alabama teams continue to do well. And it's a good day at Wallace yesterday for the most part, even though a little heartbreaking in 6A boys. But certainly, as you pointed out as well, great day for Madison Academy over at Jacksonville.
All right. Wow. See, I told you there was a lot of basketball going on. We had a lot of college basketball, a lot of high school basketball. State wrestling is officially underway down there at the Von Braun Center. So huge crowd. History was made yesterday as well, because for the first time, the Alabama High School Athletic Association ushered in girls state wrestling. Right. So 1A, 5A, and 6A, 7A, there's two classes. They took to the mats for the very first time yesterday. So we will crown not one, but two girls high school state wrestling champions. And that was the first time that they took to the mat as an individual, like for the first time ever. So let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll get out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They have called for the state to put sand on the ice as you approach Chapman Mountain on 565 eastbound. Got a two-vehicle accident there. One of them, though, is in the left lane, so you kind of have to snake through it to get through that area. Got a pretty good backup already because of that. Just got one at Burr Green and Scott in Limestone County. That one's got a vehicle that hit a house. It's coming in as a no injury. And we've got one east Upper River Road and Draper Road in Morgan County. May have a minor injury. We got one in Limestone County, 65 southbound at the state line. I think that one's a no injury. With more than 30 years experience, D&L Refrigeration can save you money on those heating and air conditioning repairs. 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Long before winter weather approaches, the Alabama Department of Transportation prepares to maintain interstate and state roads that could be affected by snow and ice.
Yeah, we start training and doing maintenance on snow and ice equipment months in advance to make sure everything is ready for when the freezing weather comes. We will have crews working around the clock that are prepared to plow snow and remove trees that have fallen into the roadway.
Our mission is to keep roadways safe and open. We try to achieve this by focusing on interstate routes first and then secondary roadways by traffic volume.
If the weather allows, we'll start pre-treating the roadways during the day to prepare for the temperature drop at night.
AlDOT wants to keep the public informed during these winter weather events. The best way to learn about state road conditions is the AlGo app and through local media. Brought to you by AlDOT, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Welcome back, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, 7:19 on a Friday morning. By the way, happy Valentine's Day. The love line is open. 256-576-4977. That's the number to the phone lines. You can join us on this Valentine's Day. Hope everybody got your roses, your chocolates, your heaters, whatever else you need on this Valentine's Day. The love line is open. 256-576-4977. Let's go out to the phone lines. Brandon is with us. Morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Morning. So Glencoe and Fife went at it yesterday. Red Devils versus the Big Chiefs on the, that was
it wasn't yesterday.
12. So I forgot to call and tell y'all about that. My son's youth pastor went to Fife and his wife went to Glencoe. So they sat on opposite sides of that game.
Yeah.
And we're talking trash to each other back and forth about it. And I have to say, that Glencoe team's a lot better than I thought they would be at the beginning of this year. I've been and seen a few of their games this year, and they're pretty stout. And for them to have got where they got, they ought to be proud of themselves. Because that Fife team wasn't no slouch.
No, they Fife had death taxes, and the Fife Red Devils blowing out Whitesburg Christian Academy on the road. So, yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, no combine invite for Shiloh Sanders.
He can't play dead in the B West.
That's not surprising. I did not find that too surprising.
I'm serious. He can't play. I mean, if you watch Colorado, he misses tackles. He's a hothead. He was not playing at South Carolina when his dad threw him a lifeline. He played at Colorado because he's Deion's son. I mean, I don't expect him to play in the NFL. That was a total daddy ball deal to me. I mean, at least I will say Shedeur can play. Okay, he was under recruited. He became a Heisman candidate. He put up the numbers. I watched Shedeur play. He's a good player. Okay, he deserves to be drafted probably in the first round, late, at worst second, and get an opportunity to play. But Shiloh can't play. He's small. He can't tackle.
There were 329 players invited to the combine. Ohio State led everybody with 15 combine invites. Texas and Georgia with 14. Oregon had 12. Ole Miss, South Carolina, 11. Miami, 10. Florida, Alabama, 9. LSU, Michigan, Notre Dame, 8. Iowa had 7. Clemson, Minnesota, Tennessee, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech all had 6.
Yeah.
So do we have a LeBron 2.0 where wherever Big Brother goes, little brother gets signed as a undrafted free agent?
Well, it would have been the case if Deion were coaching. I think both the sons would have ended up on the same team. I don't know if that'll happen now. And again, Shiloh will get a chance because of who his father is. I mean,
somebody will bring him in as into camp.
Well, he might go the third day. He might go, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Somebody may take a flyer, but at the worst, he'll sign as an undrafted free agent. But again, watching Colorado, the times I watched them, he seemed like he had a targeting call a game too, at least that they had to review. I didn't think he was very good. Now, Shedeur, different deal. But again, I'm not surprised Shiloh didn't get invited to the combine. Matter of fact, I'm kind of proud of the NFL for doing that. I would have thought it would have just been a foregone conclusion that they would have invited him anyway. But again, I think he should go to the UFL.
Well, I think we're going to make it Monday for the Huntsville game.
Gotcha.
And going to try to make it down there. And the wife said to tell y'all that she's glad that probably the best basketball coach that UAH had is a former Berry College Viking, because she's a former Berry College Viking.
Nice.
So she said to tell you that she's going to make the trip to see Mr. Hedgepeth. And so you said they win 2 more games, they break the record for conference wins, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
So West Alabama, UAH, and West Georgia all have the record at 19 because they've only expanded. It's only the 4th year of the expansion. So that's why it's why there's only 4 years of that number.
Well, before I go, I just want to ask one question. So at this point, the conference is still 500 against itself, correct?
At the last time we checked, yes. I don't think that number has changed.
Yeah,
Brandon, thanks for the phone calls.
We need to World Tide, Brandon. Big game coming up on Saturday, but we'll have to check with Carl Dummich on that. And
did you see Mark Pope have fun with that yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Mark Pope had fun with that. He was asked about that and tried to be serious about how the conference has underachieved because they're only at 500 at this point in the season.
You should ask Mick if they break the record. Is it disappointing that the rest of the conference is 500?
Let's go out to the phone lines. Let's get Pat from Tuscaloosa. Morning, Pat.
Good morning, guys. I want to talk about keys to victory. Do y'all agree with me that Sears not dribbling the basketball and being in position to shoot the ball and to have Phylon and Hardaway bringing the ball down and passing the ball to Sears in order for Sears to be able to shoot is more to the keys of victory than letting Sears just dribble and get caught up?
He's got to be able to attack the rim. They all do. I mean, they've got to all protect the ball, not just. I mean, Sears is not just a spot up shooter. His strength is getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line. He's one of the best in the league at getting to the line. That's a lot of times how he produces points, especially if he's not shooting at a high percentage from the field.
And I don't think Sears is the problem for all of the turnovers.
No, Grant Nelson's had turnover issues. Phylon's had turnover issues.
Right. Turnovers, though, Patty, you're onto something. Turnovers is a big key. They're going to have to limit. They're going to have to limit their turnovers. They cannot get away with double-digit turnovers if they want to have success tomorrow.
They got the live ball turnovers have to be, in the low teens.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 13, somewhere around there. Or even less. But they've got to take care of the basketball. And then they've got to win the rebounding battle first and foremost, because especially on the O boards, because the offensive glass leads to those what you're talking about, the kick out, catch and shoot threes, which is very, very important. No question about that. And then again, I just think overall, when you think, and then I think Alabama's got to get Auburn in foul trouble. They've got to be able to attack the rim, and they've got to get Jonai in some foul trouble, Dylan Cardwell, even Chaney Johnson, because that's their bigs, man. They've got to get Auburn in some foul trouble so they can go to work and get to the free throw line, and they've got to, whoever shoots the most free throws in this game is going to win. So Alabama has to win that battle of the trips to the free throw line.
Okay, my turnover number is 12. If we hold it under 12 or under, we win the game. And I'm just proud that my daughter-in-law said that was worth a ticket. And because the seats in front of me, I'm on row 14. The seats on row 13 in front of me just sold for $825. Would anybody ever have dreamed that there'd be more money for a basketball ticket in Coleman Coliseum than a football ticket to the Iron Bowl?
Now, is that a piece or total?
Yes, a piece.
Wow. Nice.
That's all right, Pat. Thanks for the phone call.
Thank you, sir.
Have a blessed one, guys.
Yeah, can you imagine that? $800,
man,
for
cool.
tickets to an Alabama-Auburn basketball game.
A piece. Man, that's some crazy stuff, man.
Let's get a break in. When we come back, we will talk baseball. How about some Army baseball, shall we?
Black Knights.
Toyota Field, the place to be. Better bring a blanket or two and a heater.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Partly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-50s, dropping into the mid-upper 40s. More cloud cover Saturday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. A couple of isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible through Saturday afternoon. That activity becomes much more widespread as we head into the evening and then through the course of the overnight. We're also talking about the chance for some strong or severe thunderstorms Saturday night and then early into Sunday morning. Temperatures drop into the lower 40s. A couple of isolated showers through Sunday afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan? The right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankofFrankEwing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan? The right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankofFrankEwing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
Last reported accident was Berg Green and Scott in Limestone County. Had a vehicle hit a house there. One in Morgan County, East Upper River and Draper may have had a minor injury. Still trying to clear up that wreck on 565 eastbound up around mile marker 21. That's right as you start across Chapman. Looks like that one happened because of the ice up there. They've already had the state come in and sand it. And we got 65 southbound at the state state line in Limestone County. I think that one turned out to be a no injury. Are you over 35 and overweight? 7 different hormones can make it impossible for you to lose weight. Find out with a free quiz at 2030huntsville.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy. Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's in his arm. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
We are your home for Charger basketball.
Tommy Murr swings it over to Campbell. Campbell on the wing for the lead.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talking ball, it's made a call to the bullpen. That's Scott Theisen. What a great segue. Yeah, it goes into what we were talking about yesterday with Craig Kimbrell. Yeah. As I've come in relief for the remainder of Talking Ball as he heads down to the VBC for the Alabama State High School Championships that are going to be taking place over there today as well as tomorrow. Over at the VBC. So wrestling is on our minds, but baseball is on our minds as well because it may be like 30 degrees right now.
Oh, Lord.
But we have some baseball series going on around the Tennessee Valley, Drew.
Well, I mean, yesterday was officially the opening day around the state for high school softball and baseball. As our good friend from AL.com, Thomas Ashworth, put out that call to the Wild there is people were able to get started. And college baseball, this is the opening weekend, as you know, Joe, and you played college baseball yourself. So you're used to playing in weather like this.
Oh, yeah, no. Majority of baseball, for people that don't know, is played in cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of it is.
I mean, you know, through the month of March until everything starts warming up there. But we're honored to be kicking off college baseball here in the Rocket City at our venerable Toyota Field, home of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. It will be the opening series for a couple of squads, one local, the UNA Lions, and then another tie to, for anybody that is grown up here, been in the city of Huntsville for a while, the Redstone Arsenal is the hub basically of our community. We are the longtime home too of Army Black Knights football, as you hear Crawdad and his guys all through the college football season. And it was a great season, by the way, for the Army Black Knights. And their baseball program is coming off of a regional appearance, and they are going to open their season this weekend and today with a doubleheader over at the Toyota Field against the UNA Lions. And we're honored to be joined now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline by Coach Chris Tracz, the third-year head baseball coach of the Army Black Knights, and he's bringing his squad here today to compete and open their season. And this was an NCAA regional team, a conference champion that is coming to battle the UNA Lions, and we're looking forward to that later this afternoon. Coach, good morning. You're with Drew and Joe Hunk.
Good morning. I appreciate you guys having me on. The weather is this is typical for us, so this is actually pretty nice down here.
Well, and I was going to ask you about it for our listeners, kind of, and of course, I know you understand. You've learned about the Rocket City in Huntsville and what we were talking about with the Redstone Arsenal. We are Army folks. My father worked in logistics at Mystic on the Redstone Arsenal for much of his professional career. My brother also has worked on the Redstone Arsenal. So Army means a lot to us, but kind of walk us through how this came to pass. And of course, with you guys, as you talked about the weather, especially on the East Coast being what it is, coming down south to, kind of start your season.
Sure. No, from a scheduling standpoint, when we look at, a year or two out and it's kind of even beyond now, is trying to get into areas, obviously being at West Point and our guys going out and serving in the U.S. Army, and so many, families and alums and people have such strong feelings and passion for West Point. We want to try and get to areas where we can kind of come to them. And when Jad reached out and his idea of coming down and playing here and playing North Alabama, it was a no-brainer. And the amount of emails and traffic of people that were excited for us to be down, it's awesome. It's awesome for our guys to be exposed to it, and it's great for us using the platform of Army West Point to hop on a plane, come down, and be able to showcase the best of our country and some pretty good baseball as well. When you look at just our preparation and stuff, New York is we're in the dead of winter, and this one's hit us pretty hard. And there are times and pockets when we've been able to be outside in previous years, but we were inside our batting cages. We were inside we're lucky enough to have an indoor football facility on post there. So we are preparing in an odd kind of way. We're practicing baseball, but we're really not playing baseball. And we're gonna we're gonna tee it off here at 2:00 and see what happens. But there's no excuses. The best part about these guys is they wake up every day to get better and to be the best they can be. And I think we'll be ready today at 2:00.
Coach, you mentioned something just a second ago about how you have the indoor practice facility for football. And the first thing I envision is you guys are practicing on the indoor practice facility. Like are you like measuring out 90 feet each way? Is this what we're talking about?
Yes, pretty much.
I knew it. I knew it.
Well, I mean, you have to do what you have to do, man. I mean, it's the dead of winter in New York.
Yeah. And now, we've got some smart guys. So it all depends on who, it all depends on who sets the field up. If it's position players, the mound is about 62 feet. If the pitchers are doing it, it's 59. And then, when balls are hit, everything's either a home run or, a double. But no, it provides some unique challenges, but we're really, really lucky to be able to even prepare in such a facility and get ourselves ready to go.
Well, and I apologize for the dumb question. Again, I know that everybody at West Point's extremely intelligent in this, but I've been around a lot of hockey players recently that have went to military academies and they've went as civilians. Is there anything like that at West Point at all, or is it 100% everyone on the team is fully enlisted, just like with football?
Yeah, it is the exact same as football.
So
our kids, when they show up day one, they take the oath, and they begin their career as a service member. Obviously, the 4 years that they're in school, they're students or cadet athletes, and then they'll commission and become second lieutenants in the United States Army.
All right. So, and with you getting ready for this and getting your fresh group of freshmen and all that sort of thing, what do you look for every single year to know, like, okay, I think that we're going to be able to do something? Because with you guys, again, it's very similar to what we talk about with the football team. You can't recruit. You can't do all that sort of stuff the way that everybody else does. So how do you guys get prepared well enough where you make it to what you did last year, where you're going and playing Georgia Tech?
Yeah, I think, when you look at bringing players into West Point, everyone will talk about the challenges. I think when you look at the number 2 public institution in the country, the number 1 leadership development institution in the world, a program that's won 6 straight conference titles and played in the NCAA tournament, and you graduate with a degree and become a second lieutenant in the United States Army.
Strong.
It's not a bad deal.
No,
not a bad deal.
No.
And in today's world where it's kind of one or the other, I think we provided a great option and pathway for not just the 4 years when they're in school, but for their life and what they can do in or outside the Army. And so, I think it's getting them here and getting them acclimated, and is pretty much, that's the hardest part, to get into the rhythm and really kind of feel like their feet are underneath them here at West Point. And then we can play baseball. We dedicate, and the school dedicates time after 3 o'clock. Like there's no class. And so we have the ability to be with them in the weight room and on the field and in a meeting room and in all these different spaces, like every other Division I baseball team. So, while their days are packed a little bit tighter than everyone else, and there's a higher expectation and standard to what they live in, the daily life they live in, when they get to the field, they put their cleats on and, we put some music on and we get to work and it's been a good recipe.
And Coach Chris Tracz, the head baseball coach of the Army Black Knights, is joining us here on Talkin' Ball on ESPN 97.7 The Zone. We're looking forward to them competing starting at 2 o'clock at Toyota Field, home of the Trash Pandas, against the UNA Lions. Coach, your team, as you said, 6-time Patriot League champions, and really acquitted themselves well at the regional at UGA last year in Athens. Really could have won the opening game against Georgia, led for the majority of that game, I know. Did an outstanding job, then lost a heartbreaker to Georgia Tech 4-2. But 31-23 season, I'm sure you were very proud of how that team competed. Now, kind of talk about, coming off of a year where you win a conference title, you nearly win a game in a regional. What are the expectations going into this season, kicking it off against UNA?
Yeah, I think across the board at West Point, you're built to win. And so, whether, we lost a lot of guys or we have a lot of guys returning, like the goal is to produce and to win. And this group's going to be a little bit different than last year's group. We did lose some firepower, but we have some depth that we're excited to see get on the field. And we joke around in the office sometimes, and I think we do talk about it with our players. We've lost some really great players, but at some point they were freshmen and sophomores and nobody knew who they were.
Right.
And so we have that next group of guys that people may not just look at and be like, wow, that guy's really good. But I think what they'll find is at the end of the season will be a really, really good player. And, these first couple weeks, like normal, are very, very difficult because you're really trying to learn. And Jad will probably come on later and say the same thing. Like, we're just trying to play as many innings so we can learn about our teams. But, the expectations, we don't run from them every day when we go out on the field. You see the banners and you walk around West Point and it's about winning and being the best that you can be on a daily basis. And you're surrounded by elite people. So, this is the world that we live in. It's the world that they chose. And I think when we get into an athletic environment, it's really conducive to being successful.
And Coach, one thing I'm always curious about when it does come to the military academies like Army is workout regimen and things along those lines, because, again, it's somebody that played college baseball. I know that, we took supplements that sometimes, military kids couldn't take and things along those lines that, not something illegal, but I'm just talking about, different workout supplements and stuff. For you guys, baseball body is different than a football body and different than a basketball body. How is it with the workout regimens and trying to get everybody ready when obviously the other thing they're also doing is preparing to go off for battle?
Sure. Yeah. There are times that, especially in the fall, sometimes we have to take a little space to try and get their bodies back into more of a baseball shape. And put our strength coach, we've got a full-time strength coach that deals with, that every day, when they get here and kind of taking those, getting a feel for where they're at and figuring out what they need. But, the one great thing, in being a Division I athlete and the way that West Point has it set up is that we get to work out for athletics. There are pockets of time, obviously, that they are into a military regiment, more so in the summer than anything else while they're going through their year. But, again, from practice to nutrition to the strength and conditioning to athletic trainers and all this stuff, we have every resource that everybody else has. Sometimes we have to be a little bit more creative in how it's implemented, but we have everything that everybody else has and probably more. Because again, we're training the most elite human beings in the world. So, what we are able to provide them, I think is really worthwhile. And again, if it didn't work, I don't think we could do what we've been doing on the field. So, we're pretty lucky in that sense. Especially with where we are and who we play against, I think we're really, well positioned to continue to be successful.
Well, and Coach, I know that we kind of joke about this in baseball as well, where a lot of times when we're talking about outfielders, we always say, man, that guy has a cannon. He's got a hose. He has laser. But I need to know really for real, who has the best cannon shot from all the rest of your team? Because, I mean, you guys literally will actually shoot these things. Okay, like this is a totally different verbiage that we can use that are actually baseball terms.
Yeah. If you see JT Craig out in the outfield, he's a freshman for us. He'll let it fly for you.
There we go.
Just give him a shot and a little momentum, and he'll let it fly.
Well, and Coach, piggybacking off of that, I know you had fall baseball. Everyone around the college game does. Well, in your mind, I mean, you're going to find out a lot about your ball club in these 3 games. But what were the strengths? What did you like about your club coming out of fall?
Yeah, I think the top end, we have 4 or 5 arms that I think are as good as anybody. And they showed that last year. We have a couple that'll take on some more enhanced roles. But, we played UConn in the fall, who's, a game away from Omaha the last few years.
Right.
And toe-to-toe with them for 10 innings. And we were able to just stay in the game and to actually be aggressive and attack. And on the mound, I thought we did a really good job. And then, offensively, we played with a bunch of power the last 2 years. We've hit 70, 80 home runs, which in the Northeast is a significant number. That number is going to go down with just players we've lost, but hopefully our stolen base numbers go up. I think we can hit more doubles. Maybe bat to ball is a little bit better. Hopefully we can decrease some of the strikeouts. So we're going to kind of play a little bit different style, I think, as the year goes on. But it's pitching and defense, and then playing with that little kind of old school nasty attitude, and representing what you would expect from an Army baseball team, being tough as heck and staying in it for 9 innings.
No, and you're kind of underselling this, Coach. I know we got to let you go, but did you know that you were getting like a Shohei Ohtani on the team when you've got a guy in Lehman that's, not only throwing 14, 15 games for you guys, but he's also hitting as well?
Oh, I'll show you. I mean, I don't like talking about it because it shows how what a poor coach I was. He kept begging to pitch, and I'm like, yeah, Justin, just play first. He's like, Coach, I can pitch. I'm like, yeah, buddy, okay. And then we were early last year. I said, pitch an inning. He pitched a good inning. Next time, I think he threw 2 or 3, and then all of a sudden he's our Friday night starter. So he convinced me that he was Shohei Ohtani. We didn't discover it in the natural place. But you want to talk about somebody that believes in himself and competes at a really, really high level. I am really, really thankful, and so is the program, that Justin was so persistent.
And I've got to have my last question is only because I have to ask it, because his family is West Point to the core. We had him on the show when he committed. I was at his signing ceremony over at JP2 High School here in the Huntsville-Madison County area. I've got to ask, he's a sophomore for you. About Paul Angeheski. He's a great athlete. I watched him play multiple sports in high school, but baseball was always his I felt like ticket, and he helped that program make a deep postseason run to the semifinals. What role do you foresee for him, this year for you potentially?
Yeah, Paul's made a huge jump into his second year, and he's going to play for us. He's going to he's probably he's a pitch away every day from being in the lineup. My assumption is he's going to start a bunch of games for us, and had a great winter, probably the best winter period of anybody on our team, and. He can play defense. He plays the right way. We always say, you can put him anywhere, and honestly, nothing bad's going to happen because he's dialed into doing things the right way, the short game, staying on the barrel and catch and throw. So he's been everything that we wanted him to be. But he's an awesome person. Like Paul is, he's the butt of a lot of jokes because he's just so likable and everybody gravitates towards him. I've asked him and pushed him to really kind of be more vocal and to be a little bit more aggressive and kind of tap into his old high school football,
he's a good player.
Personality.
Absolutely.
Because I think he has those little, that knack inside of him that he can really have a great effect, on our team, whether he's on the field or in the dugout or, on the bus. So we're lucky to have Paul. Is obviously a great family, and he's been a great addition to our team. And when you see him, and you guys know it, a smile's not far from from him. So he is just a happy guy. He's a positive person, and again, we're lucky to have him and his family part of our family.
Oh yes, and there'll be a crowd today for the doubleheader. Their family's really looking forward to this. We've been hearing about it for 2 years, and it's finally here. Army and UNA. Well, Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck to the Black Knights, and thank you so much for giving us some insight into your squad. And I'm glad you made it safely here to the Rocket City. Good luck this weekend, and certainly down the road this season. We hope to see you back in an NCAA regional, but really appreciate you talking some Army Black Knight baseball today.
No, perfect. Thanks so much. Go Army.
Go Army, Coach. And that's absolutely amazing. The visual of them marking the bases out in the football field. Yeah. I've done that, and I've sat there, and I knew that's what he was about to say. I knew
it was a loaded question.
It was, because he says, "Yeah, we got an indoor facility for the football team," and I went, "Wait a second, is he doing like what we had to do?" And there was like, "All right, get the tape measure out. Let's measure. Boom, put the base down. Instead of it being 90 feet, you put the base in front of the 90 feet, so it's just a little bit closer if you're the one having to run." All right, we come back. We have phone lines open to you as well. We only got a few more minutes left. We'll get back into it as we continue on Talking Ball on this Friday on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
They had all the traffic stopped on 565 eastbound up about mile marker 21 or 22. Had a wrecker in there trying to get that vehicle moved out of the way. They just turned the traffic loose. Now we have 2 lanes open headed eastbound. Maybe that'll smooth out. It's backed almost down to Andrew Jackson. Had Bergreen and Scott in Limestone County. Had I-65 southbound at the state line, and had East Upper River Road at Draper in Morgan County. All those should be about ready to clear. Do you need help with projects, leave coverage, or maybe staff positions? Snelling can help with admin, business support, and accounting. Snelling, how the area's best companies hire talent. Huntsville.snelling.com. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Tuscaloosa, we live by the blue-collar basketball motto. Stepping back, deep three, hard work. 2-on-1, driving, stepping through, top shot, got it to go. Teamwork. Playing the song for the champions of the Southeastern Conference. Join us for every game right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Wrapping up the first hour of Talking Ball, Scott Tyson is over at the VBC. It is the Alabama State High School Wrestling Championships going on right now over at the Von Braun Center for the remainder of the weekend. And so he's going to be there. So Joe Hogg filling in with Drew DeArmond. And real quick, Drew, do you know the name of the stadium in which Army plays in? When they are able to play at West Point, right now it's like 20 degrees, but when they are able to play at West Point.
I do not.
The only reason I say this is because it is Johnson Stadium at Doubleday Field.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Which is exactly. See, so that's the only reason I asked. Doubleday Field, which is Abner Doubleday, who is the creator of baseball.
That's awesome. And I've got another trivia question because we didn't ask this of Coach Chris Tracz, but he was the longtime coach of the Marist Red Foxes.
Yes.
Who is the most famous, in my opinion, athlete to come out of Marist?
Now, that one I have zero idea for.
Okay, I'll give one hint. He was the number 2 pick in the NBA draft.
David Robinson.
Dang it, you almost had it.
Oh, my God.
The position was correct.
I had no idea. I just went with
the
somebody.
dunking Dutchman, Rick Schmitz.
Yeah, no,
who played with the Indiana Pacers, was a Marist Red Fox.
When he slammed his head on the table, I was like, wait, did I get that right?
You got the
I was like, did I get
position
it right?
but now you're probably pissing the Army people off because David Robinson played at Navy.
That's the reason why I thought that. I was like, wait a second. I just went with another military guy because my mind was military.
But
the only reason. I had no idea that Abner Doubleday was actually like a Union war general. No idea of this.
Way we're educating ourselves this morning.
Yeah, no clue. I just looked it up and I went, wait a second. Abner Doubleday was a general in the military?
Well, I'm going to make myself feel up. But what year were you born, Joe?
84.
Well, okay. Well, Rick was you were probably 7 when he was drafted.
Yep.
Dog or something
Yep.
like that.
No, absolutely. I was. It was, what'd you say, 91?
Something like that.
91. I just watched, just now realized that the Atlanta Braves could be good at baseball in that time.
There you go.
That was it. All right, second hour coming up. We talked about Army. Let's go ahead and talk a little UNA baseball as we continue on Talking Ball. Drew DeArmond, Joe Honk, as we keep going on this Friday morning on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Bryan Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa signature card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Auburn and Alabama meet tomorrow at the Coleman Coliseum. The top-ranked Tigers, a 1.5 dog at number 2 Alabama. The total quite high, 172.5. That is coming up tomorrow in college basketball, a battle of number 1 versus number 2 in Tuscaloosa. The 67th running of the Daytona 500 is Sunday. It's Ryan Blaney, the 10-1 favorite. Joey Logano and Chase Elliott, along with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch, all at 12-1. The Truck Series opens its season today at Daytona. The fresh from Florida 250. Justin Haley 8-1. Michael McDowell plus 850. Corey Heim 9-1. For more, go to vsin.com.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
All right, let's get second hour going. Scott Tyson is down at the BBC. The state championships for wrestling are going on right now over at the Von Braun Center. So he has made his way over there. So he's going to be helping out with PA announcing throughout the entire weekend. So if you're going to be going over there, his voice is going to be the one that you're going to hear all weekend long as you are watching the kids win state championships over in Probst Arena. We got a lot of things happening this weekend. We have UAH baseball that's going to be going on. I'm going to be heading out there in the next few hours. First pitch is going to be at noon today.
How many layers?
I've got 3 layers with me. And I also have, there's also a heater in the press box as well.
Heater.
But the only reason the heater doesn't work well for me is because I am beside the door that is outside, that is going to be that's going to be right outside the press box. So the door stays open, and so that we can get the crowd noise and all that sort of stuff. So that doesn't help me at all.
Wait, so what time are you going to be out of the blitz? Are you going to leave early?
So no, and so there's been a lot of, we're trying to figure out what time may actually have to leave the building right now, just to be honest with you, because there's even been rumor of the game getting moved up to 10 a.m. John's face.
I don't know if you're making that one.
No, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to make that one either. But it doesn't matter about UAH because UNA is playing, because we just talked a little Army baseball, Drew. Let's turn it around. Let's talk a little bit about the UNA side.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're honored to be joined, and I believe he's going into his 3rd season for the UNA Lions, and they're going to have a new facility soon too. It's a great time to be a Lion. So Roar Lions, absolutely. They're going to start their college baseball season as well. This will be their opening series over at Toyota Field later at 2 p.m. today, as they will play a doubleheader against the Army Black Knights, and it'll be the UNA Lions. And Jad Prachniak has been kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and talk a little UNA Lion baseball. Coach, am I correct in that? Is this your 3rd season coming up?
Correct. Yes, this will be the 3rd season with UNA.
Yeah, I know you're trying to rebuild that program. You had a lot of success on the Division II level, 2-time national champion of Westchester, and we certainly and hope you can do the same thing. Get UNA to the NCAA tournament. I know that's the goal, and UNA had a lot of rich baseball history, especially on the Division II level. But talk about kind of your vision for the program and how big it is to have that new facility coming on your campus.
Sure. The history the previous staff, Coach Keene, and then before him, Coach Lane, the legendary coach at UNA, I feel like the formula is there. It's just everything was done at the Division II level.
Right.
And now we're making the Division I transition, but I have a ton of respect for the consistency and postseason success that they had at the Division II level. And just like you mentioned, we're trying to build that same formula at the Division I level. And I think that new stadium is certainly going to help. And I think that's obviously from a Division I standpoint, the facilities and the resources, it'll definitely help accelerate some of those things for us.
Coach, I was looking, and I know that you used to coach at Westchester. Well, could we not get you on the UAH schedule, man? Like, I mean,
coming down. It's a tight budget. I don't think Tracz have a guarantee to pay for our bus.
Yeah, that's so true when you're talking about East Coast baseball.
Oh no, trust me, and Coach knows about this because the baseball budget
totally baseball budgets, man.
They'll throw you on a bus and say you got to leave the day of the game. It's like, well,
right.
we play 12 hours away. Yep. Well,
we had an overnight trip. We drove through the night and we played a morning game in Florida once. So that wasn't my best coaching decision, but we literally got off the bus and played a game in Florida on a spring break. This was about 10 years ago, but it was a little ambitious on my end.
Well, Coach, I've got to ask you too. We certainly asked this of Coach Tracz, and he kind of laid it out. But talk about deciding to play this, this opening series for your team here at this facility, Toyota Field, state of the art. We're very proud of it here in the Rocket City, and I've already seen some video that you took when your team was working out as you were in town. But what went into the decision to open your season on a neutral field like this?
Sure. Knowing we had the stadium project coming, we were trying to secure something local just so our travel was minimized, and even that we could declare this is our home series, which it is, even though it's a neutral site.
Right.
We just and even the way the Trash Pandas take care of us, like they'll put the logos up on the board during practice day. They give us access to the clubhouse. So our guys really have, to be honest with you, I think some guys think this is always how it is, but it's not always like this. We had some guys like, oh, I didn't realize we were going to have access. I didn't bring my jersey off the bus. I thought it was going to change in the hotel. So the way they take care of us in just coming here in years past, it was a no-brainer for us that they can make the dates work and all that. So it was an easy decision for us. And from Garrett up top to Charlie on the field and Lindsay in the front office and Luke in the clubhouse, all those guys have been awesome to us. And it helps our transition. Basically, when we're looking for a home, it feels like home for us for the weekend.
No, I was just saying that's awesome. And Coach, to kind of piggyback off of it a little bit, I know this is a rebuild, especially when you're trying to transition to the Division I level after being a Division II power. What kind of fall did you have, and how much did you find out about your team? And I know Coach Tracz was talking about how he's still going to find out a lot about his guys as they take the field to this weekend and play the 3 games, and you'll probably have guys on pitch counts and things of that nature. But kind of talk about where you think your team is going into this opener at 2:00 today.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. I mean, honestly, I think most teams throughout the country have, questions they want answered in the first 4 weeks before conference play. We have 18 new players, and that's a mix of freshmen, junior college transfers, and 4-year transfers. And we're excited to kind of put those guys together on the field. And instead of inter-squatting and splitting everything up, we're going to run our first 9 out there and work in one direction with it. I will say one of my concerns going in the fall was basically half the roster was new.
Right.
And some of those new faces were 18 years old, and some were 23-year-old grad school transfers. But a concern was like, all right, we have 18 new guys coming from all over the country, and just the mesh of how those guys are going to blend. But I have been really impressed with just how connected they have been and just their interactions. It gives me peace of mind where I feel like we're checking the box of we're moving in the right direction together. So we'll figure out some baseball things, but I have been impressed with the personalities, and it's a mix of personalities, but they have gelled really, really well.
Coach, through this transition that you guys have been making from the level you were on to now the D1 level, have you seen more doors opening, more phone calls being returned, anything like that with recruiting?
For sure. I think a Division I thing, I think the new stadium helps. I think even the schedule we put together has helped with some of the transfers we got, where there were guys in the summer that were looking to play their final year of college baseball. And we could point to, we're going to play 7 games against SEC teams. We're going to have a series at LSU. So like the guys that are looking for that quote D1 experience, this schedule couldn't be more D1. So I think we're in position where kind of the direction we're going, and I acknowledge it all the time. Like, we are not a finished product, and we have made progress, and we still have plenty of work to do. But I do like the path we're on. I like the steps we're taking. We got to keep pressing forward.
And again, we are talking to Jad Prachniak, the head baseball coach of the UNA Lions, as they get ready to take the field against Army. And this is a good test for you guys, Coach, because Army is a 6-time Patriot League champion. They went to a regional last year. And as I was telling Joe, I was getting inning by inning updates from Army people I'm close to. They nearly knocked off UGA, played Georgia Tech very tough. So this is a good team you're playing as a measuring stick for the opening weekend.
Absolutely. And that's anytime you win your league 6 years in a row, obviously that's, different recruiting classes coming and going. It just speaks to the sustained success they've had there. So we know it'll be a good test, and, we're looking forward to the challenge. And I feel like part of our non-conference goals too, is we don't want things to slow down in the non-conference. So when we get to Atlantic Sun play, like, whoa, what's this? And our schedule is set up, again, a mix of the SECs, but even some of the mid-major programs we're playing, it's still going to be high-level baseball.
Coach, we joked with Army's head coach a little while ago about him underselling this, and I know that you're just kind of casually saying, yes, we've got some SEC teams scheduled, like, hey, we're doing this. You don't just have some SEC teams scheduled. I mean, last year alone, you guys went down and played the 2 teams that had just won national championships in the College World Series. And this year you are going to be, right after you finish up with Army, you guys are heading to Auburn to take on the Tigers in this. I mean, the schedule now with this is something that you look at it as a UNA and you're just going, these are definitely not D2 teams. Like, when was that moment for you? You're looking at the schedule and go, yeah, this is a legit Division I baseball schedule.
I will say the Microsoft Word document in the summer, when I'm looking at the schedule, looks one way, but when like the logos show up when the official release comes out, I'm like, all right, we're gonna earn these. We're gonna earn any win we get in this stretch right here. So and again, even from a coaching standpoint, it's, I reference when I played, a lot of the memories I have are attached to going into certain environments, playing against the best teams with the rowdiest fans, and it's the same for our players. And again, even not that I'm scheduling it for me, but it's, from a coaching standpoint, it's fun going to compete against those teams. And I think the best thing about it is you can't hide any deficiency. So when you go in there, it's like if you need to tighten up a part of the game, you'll find out real fast if you're not controlling the running game, if you're tipping a pitch, whatever it might be. Those guys will let you know real quick what's going on.
Well, and Coach, talk about what is your approach going to be in the opening weekend? Is that pitching wise? Is it going to be pitch counts? How are you going to handle how many arms you kind of take a look at?
Yeah, we will have some pitch counts attached to it, and say hard numbers. It's we're going to stay away from that triple digit number for sure. And I think part of the weekend too is because we have basically half our pitching staff is new. We also want to make sure certain guys are getting on the mound as well.
Right.
So it's if we can get a good start, and if we can get 5 or 6 out of Bryson Parrish in game 1, and it's within the pitch limit, we're open to it. But we're also going to get some other guys on the mound, and it's again, we want to win this weekend, but there's a long term making sure we're taking care of guys on the opening weekend as well.
Coach is looking at your schedule and trying to figure out the way that you guys are going, even with things that you were planning on when your lineup itself. I know that you have an idea of what your lineup is obviously going to be when you get to the stadium today, but do you have some questions of like, okay, I'm paying attention to this guy. If he's in, batting in the 8 hole, that I really think that there's a potential that he could flip all the way up to a 1 or 2 guy.
Yes, I think some of those things are very much in play. And I think that's just the volume of new. I think we have lineup 1, and I just know, I know there's going to be some turnover as the year goes of who's coming and going. One of the things I like about the club too is I think we have legitimate options, a couple legitimate options at different positions. And I just think it's going to free us up to give guys breaks and even play certain matchups if a guy handles a lefty or righty better, or even if a guy handles a certain type of fastball better. If he hits a 4-seam fastball better than, and maybe the other guy hits a 2-seam fastball, we can even match up based off that as well at a couple of positions.
And then, Coach, as far as going into this weekend, I know you're excited to get it cranked up. I know the players have to be. You talked about how you've been treated, and again, that is correct. You already competed here at Toyota Field, so you know the venue. Talk about how exciting it is, because we have a really good relationship with AD Josh Looney, and we consider this kind of UNA territory up here. We have a lot of alumni here. My ex next door neighbor, one of my best friends, is a huge UNA supporter. But talk about how exciting it is to have a quote unquote home series and be in front of a lot of UNA supporters today.
It's going to be awesome for us, the university, and even when you walk in. I mean, when you walk in the stadium, you can see the UNA brand, the logos on the left field wall, on top of the dugout. So I know it is. I understand that Roll Tide and War Eagle is going to be everywhere in the state.
Oh yeah.
But I think Roar Lions has a good pocket here in the northern portion of the state, and we're excited to kind of showcase where we're at. And I just think the university as a whole on the athletic side, there are some programs that have already been doing consistent building, and I think there's other ones that are coming. And we feel like we're one of those programs that's going to continue to build.
Oh, there's no question about that. And this has been Jad Prachniak, and
Yes.
we wish you all the luck in the world. Everybody stay healthy today. We know it's going to be a doubleheader starting at 2. It's going to be a 3-game series with Army, and we'll see about the weather on Saturday, but surely, hopefully, you'll be wrapped up by Sunday. But please go out, support these young people. Some leaders of our country on the Army side, and a rising program that's going to be playing an outstanding schedule, playing Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Tennessee, and, of course, Army this weekend. It's hopefully going to be a great year for UNA. But, Coach, we really appreciate the time and talking some Roar Lions baseball, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. One for the fans, pack that 4th layer. Don't leave early on us.
Joe already has the layers.
Yeah, see, we're paying attention, Coach. We are.
Yep.
Again, it's going to be windy.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, you said it right there at the end. They have Auburn coming up in a couple of days after they play Army, and then on the 25th of February,
the Vols.
Yeah, they just played the national champs. Right after that. So again, last year they played Ole Miss and Mississippi State, who had won the national championships the previous 2 years. Now they're taking on this season Tennessee. Like, this is a different type of baseball. Like, this is very similar to what we're talking about with football. There's going to be a point in time in UNA's football schedule where it's going to be teams like this that UNA will be playing even more frequently.
Well, yeah, it is. And then again, these are with what Jad Prachniak did at Westchester. and winning a couple of championships. So he knows how to build a program. That's what he's doing at UNA. This stadium is going to be huge for their future.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those series, this opener, it's really like a bracket buster in basketball. It's kind of the same thing in baseball, because you could see both of these teams potentially get into a regional and be a dangerous 4 seed.
I'm looking at the schematics right now of the new stadium, and look, I have friends that are connected to Lane Stadium.
Right.
My wife's best friend got engaged on that field. It's one of those things they have the history for. And I should have asked Coach about this, because now looking at the way this is going, they have their own kind of version of a green monster that's going to be down the left field wall. It's purple, so it'll be like a purple monster in this, but the wall design is very similar to Plainsman Park.
Oh,
so
by the way, they're opening their new stadium today, and it has been fully renovated. I saw some of the pictures from our good friend Jason Caldwell of Auburn Undercover. Beautiful place. Butch Thompson didn't have a great year last year, but he's had a great run at Auburn. I know they want to bounce back. From what Brian Matthews is telling me, and he's a seam head, because I think really his favorite sport is college baseball.
Absolutely.
They've got the number 3 ranked recruiting class in the country. And think about this. None of them went to the professional ranks. They brought in everyone. So Auburn got a huge talent infusion.
And look, anybody that knows about recruiting in the state of Alabama, and Coach knows about this as well with bringing players to UNA, you're playing on another different level when you're trying to bring outside players into the state of Alabama with the way that the Levin and scholarships and stuff. Now that could change because of the NCAA and adding all that. But right now,
we'll see with the revenue sharing how it affects college baseball. Hopefully it would help Alabama and Auburn. It potentially could. And
there's a conversation about adding more scholarships to baseball as well, from going from like the 11 1/3 or 11 1/2, whatever it is.
Stupid.
It is stupid. Trust me. It's very dumb. And so going up there to like now having like 24 scholarships. So that could help him as well. But this UNA team you're talking about Division I baseball. We're not kidding. They're playing Auburn. They're playing Tennessee. Last year they had Mississippi and Mississippi State on the schedule. Like this is a Division I baseball program that they are building. And this program in this field is going to be gorgeous when they get it done.
Oh, it is. I'm excited. I'm excited for the football facility just because, and Steve had him on last week. He's the outgoing, I believe he's about to retire as athletic director at West Alabama, but Bobby Wallace, what he did at UNA, winning those 3 straight titles and showing what can be accomplished for the Lions, and being, a 2-time head coach there, getting them back to the national championship game. But again, I just think they've needed their own facilities for a while, and I'm going to be anxious to see now that they're full-fledged D1 and FCS what happens there.
All right, phone lines are open to you. Bryce, we know that you're on hold. We're going to get to you when we come back as well. We have those lines at 256-576-4977 as we continue on this Friday talking ball on 97.7 ESPN. The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living then has mom. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Howdy, folks. Bob Baumhauer here. Whether you're planning a tailgate party at the game, cheering for your favorite teams at home, or at your local Baumhauers with your family and friends, we're here to make your football party legendary with our party-ready tray selections. From our always fresh buttermilk fried chicken tenders to the homemade Nana's chicken salad, and of course, our fresh, never frozen, award-winning buffalo-style chicken wings. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
We should be working with a clean slate now. Haven't seen anything new. Well, we did pick up one now. Looks like this one's going to be westbound about Town Madison. Completely off the road, though. Should not be causing a major problem for traffic through that area. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
Everything you need is just a click away.
Okay,
Well, almost everything.
Come on, Paul. Tell your fortune.
Log on today. 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN, The Zone.
Coming up in a few minutes, Bryan Passink. Talk a little Crimson Tide basketball. They may have a game coming up on Saturday that you want to be paying attention to at 3 o'clock, and you can be able to hear it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Before we get to him, though, let's go back to those phone lines, 256-576-4977 on Talking Ball. Bryce, welcome in, man. How's it going?
What's up, Bryce?
It's going fine. Drew, where do y'all see the game tomorrow at Coleman?
You talking about well, that's a great question. We were kind of talking to Pat from Tuscaloosa about that this earlier in the first hour. He wanted to know kind of what the keys were. His idea was that Sears be off the ball and not do a lot, of ball handling and be a catch and shoot guy. But like I told him, Mark's game is getting to the free throw line, attacking the rim. You just have to make good decisions with the ball. You've got to protect the basketball. I know earlier in the week or in several days ago, the thought was one of the odds makers. This was before Auburn dropped their game at home against Florida. I think he had installed Auburn as a 5.5-point favorite, even in Tuscaloosa, which was surprising to me. But it looks like I almost hit on the head. I just checked the spread on ESPN right now.
Oh, it's up?
People had asked me, and I said 1.5 to 2. And because of home court for Alabama, and Alabama right now is a 1.5-point favorite over Auburn. And so it's basically a pick 'em game. And the best way for me to equate it is if Alabama can protect the basketball, keep turnovers, into the 12 to 13 range. If they can win the battle of the glass, especially the O boards, you get those kick out threes. And really, to be honest with you, if they can get Auburn in foul trouble and win the free throw battle, in other words, more free throw attempts at home than the Tigers, then I think Alabama can win the game. I think the game needs to be for Alabama to win. I think My magic number the other day was 85 at Texas. At home, I think it'll probably be 90. If the game's in the 90s, high 80s to 90s, I think Alabama's going to win a tight one. And if the game's in the 70s, then I think you'd have to lean toward the Auburn Tigers in a tight one. I think it'll be tight regardless. But if you had to ask me like for a prediction, I would say the Alabama 92-88 over the Auburn Tigers in a classic.
That's about where I'm at. And all I know is anytime we score over 80 points, you can count on your fingers games we've lost. It ain't very many.
Right.
If we score 80, 85 points, that's a victory. But however, anything on Reed?
No, nothing yet. I know that'll be last minute stuff on the injury report. He did not play the other night. My gut would tell me probably not, especially in a game of this magnitude, because he probably hasn't been practicing, full bore. And then he's not going to get a ton of minutes in a game that means you basically have the conference supremacy at stake here. Now, down the road, he could work himself back in to the lineup. But this is honestly the biggest game of the year in college basketball, period. So to me, you're going with the guys that you've had regularly in the rotation. You're going with those 9 guys. Could Darion play in this game and give you 10 minutes? Maybe. But it's kind of a dangerous thing when you're probably going to be rusty. Even if you've been practicing, you're playing the number 1 team in America against the other
Right.
number 1 team in the country. So to me, I think I don't know that this is the game to get his feet wet again against Auburn. Now, maybe, but I would lean toward him probably being out again, and then Alabama rolling with their 9 guys.
I hope Stevens does the same things he did in Austin.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see him gain confidence, and it's been great to see Chris Youngblood get more and more comfortable. No doubt about that too.
He's good. Hey, and I think Holloway? Pearl told him to quit shooting, so I don't think he'll quit shooting. I think he'll have a good game.
He's been playing well,
pumped up, ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, one other thing. I found out the other day that Cooper Flagg had a twin brother. Have y'all heard that?
Yes, he transferred to an academy in Greensboro, North Carolina. Last year, he played at Montverde Academy with his brother. He has signed with the University of Maine, so he'll be going back home to play his college basketball. And to give you an idea, and I saw them play live, Bryce, Huntsville High played against Montverde on the road, and proudly, the Crimson Panthers only lost by 27 points. To the future national champions on the high school level that went undefeated. Joe Hunk, this was the starting lineup for the Montverde Eagles against the Huntsville Crimson Panthers. Point guard, starter at Baylor right now, Robert Wright. 2 guard, leading scorer for the Yukon Huskies, Liam McNeely. Center, Derek Queen, 24 and 10 last night for the Maryland Terrapins. And then this is where it gets good. Power forward, Asa Newell, Georgia. And then you're starting small forward, a cat named Cooper Flagg. So that was Montverde. And Huntsville lost by 27. The team before us lost by 90. So
hey, is he like his brother? Is he as big as his brother?
He's about 6'7", 6'8". He's not springy like his brother. He's a really good system guy who's very skilled, but his brother is just a freakazoid. I mean, you've seen Cooper Flagg. He's
his twin, but he ain't his twin.
Not athletically, no. But he does have basketball skill, though.
Yeah, he might get better. But thanks for letting me talk. But I think we're gonna win. I have a good feeling. We're probably gonna split these games.
It's going to be a great atmosphere and a great day for basketball in Tuscaloosa, starting with game day. Early tomorrow morning. And of course, you can hear the game here on 97.7 The Zone. Yes, sir. I'll be there. I hope I have a seat. If not, I'll be standing somewhere.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate y'all letting me talk.
Thank you, Bryce.
Enjoy the game because I am.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
sir. Have a good weekend.
All right, let's continue the conversation as Alabama and Auburn get ready to go tomorrow afternoon, 3:00. You'll be able to listen to it on 97.7 ESPN The Zone starting at 2. Brian Passink, who's going to be on the call, is going to be joining us next on Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We drop into the mid-upper 40s as we head into the overnight early into your Saturday morning. Mostly cloudy to overcast skies Saturday afternoon. We're also going to be incredibly warm. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 60s. Better opportunity for widespread showers and thunderstorms Saturday night and then early into Sunday morning. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the strong or severe end of the spectrum. Looks like the biggest concern is going to be the threat for some additional heavy rain, which could lead to some additional flooding, and then the threat for some gusty, damaging winds. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
We should be working with a clean slate now. Haven't seen anything new. Well, we did pick up one now. Looks like this one's going to be westbound about Town Madison. Completely off the road, though. Should not be causing a major problem for traffic through that area. Officers, construction workers, and first responders put their lives on the line every time they step on the roadway. You can make it safer for them. Slow down or move over. It's the law. Captain Eck in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's perfect. What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, that Alabama and Auburn play each other tomorrow. Y'all know that.
Come on.
I didn't know if I knew that or not.
Oh.
You know, just number one versus number one. Like Rocky and Drago boxing over in Russia.
Thank you.
I just want to know.
No pain on Saturday. No pain.
Who's the one that's doing the workout montage on the mountain? I just need to know who's doing the workout montage. because you've got the one that's inside all the, I don't know, Alabama does probably have some nicer equipment. I'm gonna be straight. Like they're gonna probably have that. Let's
And
ask
even
Bryan
nicer
Passink.
when the practice facility is done, by the way,
Yeah.
by next year. But it's a great time to be a basketball fan in our state, probably the best time ever. And I know our next guest is giddy because he will be a part of history on Saturday afternoon. Of course, pregame will start at 2 here on 97.7 The Zone. Tip off a little after 3 o'clock. Dan Shulman, Jay Billis on the call. The game of the day in college basketball, and really the game of the year. And it's within our state. It's the first 1 versus 2 in SEC basketball history, and really 1 versus 1. And who better than to break it down than someone that's probably not gotten a lot of sleep this week in anticipation of it. And it's our great friend Bryan Passink from the Crimson Tide Sports Network that will be on the call with Chris Stewart. Bryan, good morning. How are you?
I am doing pretty good, guys. How are y'all? Appreciate you having me.
I can tell in your voice that you're ready for this one, Bryan. I mean, you put the jersey on. You've watched this program grow. You've watched Auburn grow. I said earlier this week, and Bruce Pearl said it at his press conference yesterday, and I agree with it 100%. I said it on my X account. If Bruce Pearl doesn't have the success he started having at Auburn, I don't know if Alabama gets Nate Oates, but they did. And now we are seeing the golden era of Alabama and Auburn basketball. This is amazing to be a bigger story than UNC and Duke.
Yeah. First of all, I'm not sure that Alabama's looking to Auburn to hire Nate Oates. I mean first of all, Nate Oates was not Nate Oates when Nate Oates was hired.
Oh yeah.
You could have.
But it's beautiful the way it came together, though. I mean,
it was, but I think that's funny that you got some Auburn people trying to take credit for Nate Oates' success. Oh, you wouldn't have hired him if it wasn't for our success. Oh, hold on, people. Hold on. Alabama's got a pretty good track record in basketball. So anyway, I am certainly happy to have Nate Oates. Auburn people are happy to have Bruce Pearl.
Absolutely.
And listen, those two gentlemen are why we are talking about 1 versus 1. I mean,
yes.
You go back and I'll give Bruce Pearl Auburn credit. I mean, the last time that there was an in-state 1 versus 2, Bruce Pearl was involved, and it was his Tennessee Volunteers playing John Calipari and the Memphis Tigers. So he's been involved in some big games over the years, and Nate Oates has been one of the faces of college basketball in recent years. And with the style of play and the championships, 4 SEC titles, regular season and tournament, multiple Sweet 16s, Elite 8, Final 4, it's amazing what he's done in his relatively short time in Tuscaloosa. But, looking back at this Alabama-Auburn basketball series, I mean, there have been some great players, some great games.
Yeah.
And, we've never seen anything like this. Nobody has in the SEC, much less Alabama and Auburn. But I don't know that it changes anything for the players and coaches involved. I mean, you want to beat your rival
right
as bad as you possibly can. And I would say the fans are the same way. I mean, you're not going to find an Alabama or Auburn fan that doesn't desperately want to beat their rival, regardless of what the records are and regardless of what the rankings are. What's different now is that the eyes of not just the college basketball world, the eyes of the sports world will be on Coleman Coliseum tomorrow afternoon, because 1 versus 1 is something that you rarely ever get. It's something that we haven't seen ever in SEC basketball, and it's something we rarely see in college basketball as a whole.
And what did you see growth-wise from the 2 road trips? You guys stayed out there with them. I thought it was, this is a little bit of a worry because the game has been looming for a while, but you play an Arkansas team that all of a sudden got hot, won 2 road games in a row, and then find a way to win that game. And then I thought it was just a workmanlike dismantling of Texas.
Yeah, the Arkansas game really concerned me because there was not a hotter team that hit really in SEC play over the course of the previous few games, going to Kentucky and to Texas and really turning their season around and giving the Arkansas fans hope. Now they still have that, but you knew you were going to roll into an electric atmosphere at Bud Walton Arena. The season had turned around for Arkansas. You've got a top 3 team coming in with a great opportunity, and it was an incredible atmosphere. And Arkansas played really well. So for Alabama to go in and win that game, and even though you let Arkansas back in the game, to be up 18 in Bud Walton Arena anytime, anywhere, you've done a lot of things right. And so while you didn't want to give up the lead, give Arkansas credit. They really kept fighting, and Alabama did let off the gas a little bit. And I think the lesson learned was what took them, and they learned from that. And a big reason why they got the relatively easy win in Austin against what I think will end up being an NCAA tournament team in Texas, one of the more talented teams in the SEC. You're up big and you kept the pedal down against a talented and dangerous Texas team. So I thought the lesson was learned in Austin, and that was also a tricky game because of what's going on tomorrow in Tuscaloosa. I mean, that's all anybody in college basketball is talking about right now and have been for about a week, is that Alabama-Auburn 1-versus-1 matchup in Coleman Coliseum. So for both Alabama and Auburn to go to tricky places to play against good, solid teams, Auburn goes to Vanderbilt, takes care of business. Alabama goes to Texas, takes care of business. And now here we are, Bob Eve, the biggest game in years in the sport and into the regular season anyway. And I can't wait to be there tomorrow.
Well, and part of that is something that we kind of talked about probably, at the beginning of the season about Alabama and down low and defending down low around the arc and stuff. How is the Alabama done now around the basket with defense?
I think they're getting better overall on the defensive end. Now within the top 40 at last look in KenPom and defensive efficiency. I think this team can get better in 2 areas, and it's why that I'm so optimistic about this team's chances in March. Now, they're playing well. They're playing good basketball. Obviously, the way they shot it in Austin was off the charts. I mean, they played so well, shot it so well, and were so good offensively. But defensively, I think this team can get better. I think they're a good defensive team, and I think they have the capability to be great on the defensive end. They're not there yet, but around the basket, Cliff Amore is a guy that they brought in for this reason. Games like tomorrow against the front line of Auburn, Cliff Amore at Rutgers was one of the best interior defenders in the country, and he's had his moments in an Alabama uniform. But there have been times that he hasn't been is good around the basket or foul trouble, different reasons. And also Alabama plays a very different style than he played at Rutgers. And you're not guarding the post in practice. So there's been an adjustment period, but he has gotten better on that end of the floor. Aiden Sherrill has gotten better. And then the length of Alabama at the power forward and small forward position, I think, could help them tomorrow with Grant Nelson and Jaron Stevenson on the defensive end. So I think this team is getting better defensively, but I think they're going to be better a month from now than they are today. They're better today than they were last month. So I like the trajectory of this team, especially on the defensive end.
And Bryan, offensively, I thought watching Jaron Stevenson kind of blossom, I thought it was the best game of his career. Maybe the biggest game was Clemson in the Elite Eight with what was at stake. But I thought as far as production wise, the way he shot it, best game of his career, though, in this previous one in Austin. And then we saw others continue to get more and more comfortable. I've loved watching Youngblood get healthy. And it's been huge because we haven't seen Darion Reed in a while. Certainly we know Houston Millett and Latrell Wrightsell are out. But offensively, what have you seen growth-wise out of this squad?
Well, the two of the guys you mentioned, LeBaron Philon and Jaron Stevenson,
Philon,
I
yes.
was so happy for them to play the way they did in Austin. And I think it's huge for them and this team because you feel like you know what you're going to get night in and night out from Mark Sears and even Grant Nelson and Chris Youngblood. But LeBaron Philon, Jaron Stevenson, those guys have so much upside, and they've not played lately the way that I think they can. And I think a game like Tuesday night in Austin will give them confidence. And Jaron was incredible on both ends of the floor. And we hear Nate Oates talk publicly and to his players a lot about getting lost in your effort and getting lost in the game. And you look up and the offense comes to you. I thought Jaron especially really set the tone on the defensive end and was getting on the floor for loose balls. It was just ultra aggressive on both ends. And then you look up and good things are happening for him on the offensive end. He had an incredible shooting night. I think he was 7 for 8 overall. But it was a mindset to me. He was just ultra aggressive on both ends. And LeBaron Philon, who's battled some injuries and has not played his best the last month or so of the season. He had one of his best games in an Alabama uniform. He was so good early and has hit a few bumps in the road. I think a lot of that due to, a lot of times freshmen will hit a little bit of a wall, but more than that, probably he's been banged up. He's getting healthy, and that'll help him in terms of confidence. And can't wait to see Darion Reed back. I mean, he hasn't been healthy in a long time.
Right.
Not sure exactly what his status is for tomorrow, but he hasn't played in a while. This Alabama team has not been fully healthy. And, we sometimes forget that is a big loss for Alabama. He's one of the highest ranked recruits in Alabama basketball history, and he hasn't really played in about a month. And he's going to be healthy at some point. When he does, I think he's really going to help this team, especially on the defensive end. And
then finally, Bryan, in your mind, we gave our keys in the first hour, but you're around this team more than anyone we speak with, and you've watched Auburn as well. What's going to be the key for Alabama in this crazy atmosphere to get a win over Auburn and take the lead in the SEC standings?
All right, let me. If I tell you mine, you have to tell me yours. I want to know what your keys are.
Okay,
I might cheat off your paper and use it tomorrow on the broadcast. What do you guys think?
I went on the record. We had a caller call in and want us to break it down. I think Alabama, the turnovers, the live ball turnovers, they've got to keep them between 12, 13. I think they've got to win the battle on the glass, especially on the offensive glass, because as you know, with Nate's style, offensive boards ends up kick out threes. And a lot of times that's where they can get some wide open looks. Auburn has had trouble, defending the three at times. And then I think the biggest key too is Alabama, in order to when you're winning that battle on the glass, it means you have to attack the rim. You have to get Auburn in foul trouble. I think they need to get two of the three Auburn bigs, whether it's Chaney Johnson, certainly, and then Jonah Broom. We know how good he is. They've got to get two of those three Auburn bigs in foul trouble, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with all those, and I'll kind of add a little bit to those because I completely agree. Auburn is a team that is really, really good defensively. They block a lot of shots. They're aggressive. They're deep. They do have a tendency to foul, and Alabama's got a high free throw rate. So getting to the line and converting, I think, will be a key. And because of the shot blocking ability of Auburn, I think rim decisions, paint decisions are going to be key for the Alabama guards because Alabama's at their best when they get to the rim. Now, you've got Jonah Broom, you've got Dylan Cardwell, and some other athletic players around the basket that block a ton of shots. I think they're second or third in the country in block shots. And while that doesn't count as a turnover in the stat sheet, it essentially is. If Auburn's blocking shots, they're going the other way. They're getting out in transition. They're so good going to the basket. They've got 3-point shooters. So I think if you look up in this game and Auburn's got a lot of blocked shots, that is not great news for Alabama. And getting to the line will be important on the offensive end as well. And defensively, it's going to be interesting to see how Alabama guards Jonah Broom. He's he and Cooper Flagg are 1 and 2 in the country right now in National Player of the Year. Florida had some success not doubling him and staying on that right shoulder. He'll go right, but he's going right to come back left. Like he really has so much success scoring over that right shoulder with his left hand, uses angles, hop, pick, and roll. So if Janai Broome has angles to the basket, whether it's a pick and roll or offensive rebounds or in transition, that's going to be a tough night at the office for Alabama on the defensive end. So a lot of teams have tried different things to keep him off that right shoulder, left hand, finishing at the rim, but very, very few have had success. So that's going to be a key tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon as well.
Great stuff from Brian Passink. Can't wait, as Bart Scott said. We are all counting it down. We will be live there in Coleman Coliseum for this Battle of the I-Bob, and I call it Armageddon. I can't wait to see both these teams hook up, and I know Brian can't either. Brian, you're so generous with your time. We appreciate it. Have a great call with Chris Stewart tomorrow, and thank you for this analysis of this amazing contest coming up tomorrow.
Well, guys, I appreciate y'all having me. Can't wait for tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, man. That is Brian Passink. You'll be able to hear him tomorrow on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, 3 o'clock when that game is going to be tipping off. We only got a few minutes left when we come back on Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. John's making me go really fast.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Haven't found anything new accident-wise. It looks like everything from earlier has been cleared out of the way. You be careful on the rest of your trip in. Hopefully you'll make it without an incident. D&L Refrigeration repairs heating and air conditioning units for homes and businesses. Ask about their military, law enforcement, and senior discounts at D&L 256-652-1207. State license 08091. Captain Nick in the Valley Skywatch Traffic Center.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Scott will be back with you on Monday as he is hanging out at the BBC.
Live from Bill Penny on Monday, by the way.
That is right, live from Bill Penny, and you can you go out there and see those guys as you get your car worked on from Bill Penny Toyota, and we will be getting the Blitz going here in just a few moments as well. I don't like headlines today from it's all about Alabama Auburn. Also, Drew called it the I-Bob, and I almost it made me cringe.
Yeah,
did.
Well, Brian Passink did first.
I know.
So I'm just rolling off of him. You know.
Do you know how hard it is to argue with a man that actually played on the court and in the rivalry about the Iron Bowl? I know. God, it just. Ugh.
Going back to Wallace State today for some basketball is there'll be 7A action going on. You got James Clemens Jets. We're excited for them. No question about it. Bob Jones ladies playing Florence Falcons. So we'll be watching some hoop today. And Joe, stay warm with your layers, man.
I'm waiting on the confirmation to make sure we are good to go at noon today. Coming up in a few minutes, though, it is the Blitz where, hey, our guest is already sitting here. He'll join us at 9:20.
You're going to talk about the I-bomb.
No!
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education